Did you know the very first recorded death in the Bible wasn't caused by illness, accident, or misfortune? No, it was caused by something far more sinister, something that lurks within the human heart: envy. In Genesis, Cain, overwhelmed by jealousy and consumed with bitterness, murdered his own brother Abel. Why? Because Abel's offering was accepted by God, and his wasn't. Instead of reflecting, improving, and learning from the rejection, Cain's envy turned into rage. And in the heat of that uncontrolled jealousy, he took the life of someone he loved. That's how powerful envy is. It doesn't just fester, it destroys everything in its path. Envy is a poison, not just for the person you're envious of, but for your own soul. And if we look at the Bible, we see how envy has ruined lives again and again. Joseph and his brothers, Genesis 37. Imagine being Joseph, the favored son, gifted with dreams of greatness. But his brothers? They were so consumed by envy that they plotted his death. When they couldn't bring themselves to kill him, they sold him into slavery. Why? Because they couldn't bear to see their father's love for him, nor could they handle the dreams of success Joseph shared. Envy led them to betray their flesh and blood, shattering their own family. King Saul and David in 1 Samuel 18-19. King Saul, once a humble man chosen by God, fell prey to envy. And then came the moment when the women sang, "Saul has slain his thousands, but David his tens of thousands." Saul's envy deepened to the point where it clouded his judgment and his sense of self. The comparison stung too deeply. David's victory was seen as a threat rather than a celebration. Saul couldn't stand that his popularity had been overshadowed, and envy consumed him. As David rose in popularity, Saul's jealousy became all-consuming. He couldn't bear the thought of someone else taking his throne, even though David had done nothing but serve him. Saul's envy became his prison. Instead of nurturing his own reign, he became obsessed with destroying David, chasing him across the land, throwing spears, and ultimately losing his peace and his kingdom. The Pharisees and Jesus in Matthew 27:18. Perhaps the most heart-wrenching story of envy comes from the time of Jesus. The Pharisees, religious leaders who were meant to lead with righteousness, were consumed by jealousy when they saw Jesus gaining popularity and influence. Instead of recognizing him for who he truly was, they let envy blind them to the truth. When Pilate gave the crowd a choice to release either Jesus or Barabbas, a known criminal, the Pharisees, in their envy, stirred up the people to choose Barabbas, the murderer, over Jesus. They couldn't stand the idea of someone outshining them, and in their envy, they condemned the Son of God to die. Envy doesn't just destroy relationships, it destroys the person who harbors it. It makes us bitter, blind to our own blessings, and focused on tearing others down. It causes us to abandon peace for bitterness and love for resentment. The tragic examples from the Bible show us that unchecked envy doesn't just ruin our present, it robs us of our future. Envy is a silent killer. It has the power to destroy families, relationships, and even nations. And it starts small, often disguised as innocent comparisons or unmet desires, but left unchecked, it becomes all-consuming. Instead of succumbing to jealousy, choose to grow. Celebrate the success of others and focus on your own journey. Remember that every person has their own story, their own struggles, and their own path to walk. When you focus on improving yourself and lifting others up, you avoid the toxic trap of envy and unlock the fullness of your own potential. Let the stories of Cain, Joseph's brothers, Saul, and the Pharisees remind us that envy robs us of joy, peace, and purpose. Don't let it control you. If this story resonates with you, comment, "I will never let envy control me." Like, share, and follow and subscribe for more insight videos.